Hi, Lynn Tucker Carnivore here, and I've got three things to talk to you about today. First of all, an update on what Ribeye Ranger and I are doing as far as our meals are concerned. And after, well over 800 days, you start to get into the nuances of carnivore. So we'll tell you that. And then number two, I kind of came up with this as a concept of my own. But then lo and behold, Dr. Chafee had on a guest and confirmed my suspicions, my theory. And darn, I hate it when doctors know more than we do. But it was something that I came up against when I put two and two together. Why? Because I'm listening to my body and I'm deciding, that might be something that makes logical sense from a primal standpoint, because we have to think ancestral. Anyway, so there's that. And then also, I have an experiment that I'm doing, and I'll tell you about that one as well. So 3 good things and a bonus item at the end. So anyway, starting out with an update. Ribeye Ranger and I, as you know, were waiting to sell our Texas house. And then once it did sell, and we were finally able to make some of the improvements around here, we started doing this, and we were working really hard, and things were, commotion was happening, and that's kind of a cortisol builder, right? Whether it's good stress or bad stress, it's still there. Or whether you're working hard, put in a good full day's work, same thing. So we wanted to eat 3 meals a day. We really desired it. When we got up, we were hungry. So it wasn't a huge meal, but we had a hamburger patty in the morning and a hamburger patty at noon, and then a steak at night. And it went like that for pretty much 2 months or so. And then all of a sudden, when things started calming down, when one project is underway and then another project that you had scheduled for a week beyond that project suddenly shows up at your doorstep. And thank goodness that you're carnivore, because you can take it so calmly, because you have perspective now, because your brain's getting the right fuel. So that all happened. And then after the chaos went away, we only wanted to eat twice a day. It makes sense, right? So weeks go by of that, and then all of a sudden it's fall. The temperature changes just a little bit, and we want 3 meals a day. And I'm thinking, this makes sense. What if we have the ability to have our circadian rhythm understood because of the sunshine in the morning and the darkness at night? What if it's the same thing with seasons? And just like the bears, what do bears do in the fall? They put on more weight so that they can make it through the winter. Maybe we do that too, ancestrally. So I guess that's the reason why I put on a little 4 extra pounds, and Ribeye Ranger put on a little extra pounds too. And we were eating 2 meals. I mean, now we're eating 3, and it just doesn't seem to change. So I get it's got to be it. And then when I saw that video with Dr. Chafee saying that, yeah, that happens. Whether you have any changes in your diet at all or not, it just knows it's got to store some for the winter. Isn't that cool? Anyway, so that was a revelation. And then I don't know if I told you, but I think I did, that I was in a car accident in 1990, and they were very worried about my gallbladder. I thought they were. But anybody who's ever been in a hospital, you can read an entire article in a newspaper and then think to yourself, what was that about? I mean, seriously, only 2 or 3 sentences and you don't remember the first one, because I guess you're healing so heavily that, and then you're eating hospital food too now, figure that in. You just don't have everything capacity-wise. So I think they were concerned about my gallbladder. And I had torn my liver 5 inches, and that's a third of it. And it's right tucked nicely under it. So I guess they were worried. Well, they made me drink water and water and water and water and not go to the bathroom. So I had to have an ultrasound so they could check the health of my gallbladder. Okay. So it seemed okay, but what if it's scarred? in any way. And that's the reason why I don't do well on absorbing fat. I can only do so little. And then when I used up all of mine so quickly, because remember I said my body took to carnivore like a guy. I mean, I was just dropping it. I was using it so well. And we were going to the gym and things. So I didn't have that much to lose to begin with. Don't hate. And so maybe that's the situation. I don't really like the fat. I like it at the beginning and then it stops me liking it. I don't do well with the whole dairy thing. Butter is fine. Butter doesn't seem to be considered total dairy like milk products do. And heavy cream is, still has some lactose and it just a little, but it still has it. And it's that type of fat. So I thought I would start trying some ox bile tablets for the people that don't have any gallbladder and for the people that have a lazy one. And maybe I have a scarred one, maybe I have a lazy one. I don't know. I didn't like milk when I was a kid at all, unless it came with an Oreo cookie, a chocolate chip cookie, a brownie, or in the form of ice cream. So I really did not drink that. I drank water and I drank soda. Yeah. So I didn't really like juice either. So that was basically it. And if you deprive yourself when you're younger, maybe that affects you when you're older, or you're not really supposed to be drinking milk after a certain age anyway. I don't know. All I know is cheese makes my chin break out, and milk doesn't do well with my system. In other words, you know how you tell when you've been eating too much fat? Well, that's my symptom. It's, softness as opposed to a more consistent situation. Anyway, so I thought I will try that. Well, I was a terrible patient. I know. So now I read the bottle one more time and I said it said you could take one bottle or one day at night on an empty stomach. Well, I figure by 10 o'clock, my stomach's pretty empty. So I put it by my bedside, and now I will be a good patient and I will take one every night for a couple of weeks and see if that has any bearing on how much fat I desire or how much heavy cream I can handle. Because Jim always wants Dr. Kiltz's ice cream, and I just can't eat it anymore. It really does a number on me. So we'll see. And then the bonus. Well, you probably have already noticed that I'm not wearing glasses. I think I have a eye doctor's appointment on Thursday, the 9th. So I'm going to see if there's been any more improvement. This could be interesting. And I'm hoping that there is, because far and middle range, I can see so well with my right eye. And as I had probably mentioned before, 5 improvements in my right and 2 in my left, which totally freaked out my really exceptional eye doctor from the big city who moved out to the country. And he was all sure that I was starting to have a cataract, because cataracts bring things toward you when you're getting older. But I just saw better. I didn't see well with my glasses. So then after testing, he sits back and says, "That's impressive." And I went, "What do you mean?" He said, "No cataract can do that. That's 5 here and 2 there," did the whole deal. And he goes, "I have to go out into the front office and hand her this prescription because she's going to think I'm an old man and I made a mistake." And I went, "Doc, if it were diabetes, it would be the other way, right? It's inflammation. And evidently that's the only place I had it." Or it was somewhere that it really showed up. So we'll see if there's any betterment in my eyes. And hopefully my left maybe I should do some little eye massages to try to get it to, up its game, because the right one keeps getting better. It's my dominant one, so maybe it just figures if somebody's going to get better, let it be that guy. Anyway, I'll let you know about all of that, and thanks for hanging with me for 10 minutes, and hope you have a great day. Stay carnivore for life, literally, and feel better, sleep better, have more mental clarity, and have the energy of, I feel like I'm 35 and I'm months away from 70. So let's all do this together and feel our best. Have a great week, and I will talk to you on the next one. Bye-bye.